Hello, this is Patrick from XPression. I'd like to show you a new feature inside of XPression Maps 3.4 and higher, the use of flight mode on drawing tools. Alright, so we've got a fun project. We're doing a story today on the building used for the exterior shots in the TV show Friends. It's an actual building in New York City at 90 Bedford Street. And you can see it here. I've got the website up showing me some pictures of it, different tours in New York. And it's not about promoting that as much as it's just an information story for our viewers watching at home. So I've got a map that I'm going to open up the template. And it's a map of New York City showing the main areas here in New York, and I can zoom to any level. And here's the address here. I put it in and I can zoom to it. I'm going to scroll in just a little bit, and when I go in and add my drawing tools, I'm just going to literally click on the plus sign, and it adds the default drawing tool. So I'm going to change that. I don't think I needed to say everything on there. Having it to say 90 Bedford Street is perfectly fine. And I'm going to move it down just a little bit here so we get a good view of it. So I'm going to go into my scene. I'm going to define that as my endpoint. And when I preview it, what I want you to notice, the way that drawing tool works, and the way all the drawing tools work, the animator or the artist that creates the drawing tool will set a zoom level for when it appears and a zoom level where it might disappear as it gets closer. Taking that into account, that might be set at a different level than what I wanted. So you'll notice that map locator is there the entire time, and that may not be the way that I want this built. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go back to the XPression Maps Designer, and we're going to make a change to how that particular piece works over on XPression Maps Designer. So let's switch over to another system. Okay, so here we are. We're in XPression Maps Designer. I'm going to go to my drawing tools, and I've got this in a group called Station 2, and this is the text tool that was used. It was called Navy Background Ring Bullet. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to edit that drawing, and you'll notice there's a new checkbox under the visibility. And normally what you would do is you would plot it based on zoom levels. So you would say when the zoom level is at 0, animate in, and when the zoom level gets to 250, which means it's much closer, animate it out. And that's the way this particular text tool is done. It's kind of an odd setting, but we'll ignore that. There's a new checkbox here called Flight Mode, and when I check it, I'm going to also, once I check that, you'll notice that it gives me a little visibility icon and an airplane logo. So that tells me that's a flight or flight mode. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give this a new name. I'm going to call it FM for flight mode, Navy Ring Bullet. I'm going to click done. Now, next thing we're going to do is an artist. I'm going to go ahead and manage my templates, and I'm going to add that new drawing tool, which is FM Navy Background Ring Bullet. I've added that in. So now there's the original Navy bullet, and here's the Navy ring bullet. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Let's go back to the newsroom and play with our XPression Maps HTML5 client and see how this works. Alright, we're back in the XPression Maps HTML5 client. I'm going to pick the same template, and I have the same address in here. I'm going to zoom into that location, and I'm going to zoom a little tighter and move it down. Now, before you saw me click the plus sign to add the default label, I'm going to choose a different one because the default label is the Navy background. I want to choose the FM, and you can see the FM looks the same, except it's got both that little icon of an airplane to let me know it's a flight mode, and also it's got my prefix of FM. I'm going to take that text object and I'm literally going to drag it on top of my highlighted text, or search result I should say. And as soon as I do that, it appears. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to the edit mode while I've got it selected, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of the extra information, and now I have that set in. Now I'm going to go to my scene, and I'm going to click that that's the end mark, and I'm going to go, there's my beginning, and you can see that it's not really there. You can see the tool is selected, but it's not highlighted. It's not in there. If I go to the end, it's there. Now this map also has something else which we'll talk about in another video. It's got a title bar for self-contained content, which again we'll talk about in another video. But if I do preview it, what I want you to notice, I put that FM or flight mode drawing tool for the text object in my scene, and when you see this animate in my preview, what will happen is I will have the map with no labels on it, and as I zoom closer and the map comes to its resting point, you'll see the animation come in. So that's the in effect that you're going to see from XPression Maps, and this is now part of the flight mode tool, which lets you put a label on when the drawing comes to a resting point.